you are the guest and you get to be in charge. So
Oh,
there you
awesome.
go.
I didn't know if you guys wanted me to have a presentation or not. I have one just in case, but if you rather, I'd rather, to be honest with you, answer questions that you guys want to know the answer to instead of
Okay.
doing a presentation on something that you might already know. So however you guys want to take this, let's do it. I'm game.
Okay, well, let's start with some questions. And
Okay.
then everybody out there, if you have questions for Gogo, please raise your hand. Let's make this interactive. I think that that's the most fun way and the most educational way to do this. So I'm going to start, Gogo, but just say, will you tell us a little bit about you and how you got started in real estate?
Oh gosh, yes. Okay, I'll do it super fast because you might already know because they ask me this question on every podcast. So it's probably out there 1,000 times over. So originally I'm from Romania. I didn't move to the US until I was 21 years old. So what that means, guys, I didn't even speak English until I was 21 years old, like lick of English, right? So I learned English in the last 20 years. I came to the US in 2003. I met my husband in a bar. After 2 months, we got married. So we've been married ever since. So because of him, I stayed in the US. So since from 2003 until 2011, when I got licensed in real estate, I did all kinds of random odd jobs. So I think what it helped me to realize what I don't want to be when I grow up, right? Like I love the saying that you don't work a day in your life when you love what you do. And I feel called to what I get to do, which is, yes, in real estate, but mostly where my natural skills comes in is marketing, systems, processes, branding, those kind of things. I'm a huge tracker. My trackers have trackers, right? And so I got into real estate in 2011. It wasn't my idea. It was my neighbor's idea. She thought I would make a great realtor. And at the time, I was a stay-at-home mom and watched HGTV, and I was like, how hard can it be? Like, if these guys and girls can do it, then I can do it, right? So I went and got licensed. I got my real estate license thinking it's that easy. I never thought about where are these people coming from that they're doing shows with, right? So if you think about, I had no sphere of influence. I had no experience. I have no college education. I have no college friends, no cousin. Like I have no one in this country. Still to this day, I don't have anyone related to me by blood on this whole continent besides my own two kids. So when we are talking that you can't pronounce my real name, I barely speak English. I have no sales experience. I can add up 2 and 2 because I finished 12th grade, but about, more than that, I can't. I'm very good with numbers, so I'm not going to fool you with that. But with that being said, I want you to realize that I literally, anything that can kind of go against you, I had it going against me. But hold on. We were broke. Let me not forget that tiny little part. Like I could not afford leads. I seriously, I remember talking to one of the top producers in the office, and at the time, and we were talking, this is 12 years ago, she was paying $4,000 for Zillow leads. And I remember my brain, like my mind was just blown. I'm like, I just want to make $4,000. Like I could not even imagine spending $4,000 on anything, let alone Zillow leads, right? So that's how my career started. Very quickly, I figured out that who's gonna buy a house from, and where are those people, right? So I figured out, well, I don't know anyone. Where are people online? And that's on Facebook. So it's like, okay. I started Gogo's Real Estate on Facebook, and I talk to strangers because I don't know anyone. So that's how it started. I created Gogo's Real Estate on Facebook. And initially, I just started talking about what I learned. Like, guess what I learned today? Did you know this? Oh my gosh, let me show you that. As I was starting showing properties. And I just kind of took them along the ride of what I'm doing. And it became a thing. Now they call me the social media queen of real estate. And it's not that I woke up one day and I said, when I grow up, I'm going to be a social media queen of real estate. Like, I didn't even know what real estate was. So with that being said, that's pretty much how I built everything that I have today. So today we have over 9 different companies. Many of those are multi-million-dollar companies. And I built it all, as I like to call it, I built a brand out of hot air. Like I literally had to incorporate myself, guys. So I incorporated the name of Gogo Bethke just recently because on all of these social platforms, you have to prove yourself, right? Like you have to, what is it called? To verify your account, right? Well, if you think about it, Gogo Bethke doesn't exist. Like it's a persona. It's like The Rock or Madonna or Prince, right? Like I created a persona. I don't exist. I don't have any paperwork proving I'm Gogo besides the fact that I'm Gogo, right? So literally, I built a brand out of a big fat nothing, hot air. So that's me. Nice to meet you all. So we can go right into it.
So, how long were you a single agent before you started a team?
Oh, long time. I'm a slow learner. But when I do learn something, finally, eventually, when it hits me in the head, right, then I take quick action. But took me a while. So been licensed since 2013, and I don't think I started my team until like when I came over to EXP, so 5 years ago.
Okay. And what would you say was the major pivot point in your career to take you from being a single agent to multi-million-dollar businesses owner?
Yeah, so it's a few lessons, right? Like it's that I wish it was one lesson that hits you in the head. I like to say that God throws you pebbles, and if you don't listen, he's gonna throw a brick, right? So I like to listen on the pebble level, right? So a lot of small lessons, but to start a team, the way I used to look at it is like, well, why would I start a team? Like I barely have enough transactions for myself. So as an individual agent, I used to produce an average of $6 to $9 million. I'm licensed in Michigan, and 6 to 9 million at the time was about almost 50 transactions. So somewhere between 40 and 50 transactions for me yearly, right? So that's as an individual agent, my highest level. So I used to think like, well, if I start a team, then I have to start splitting these transactions, and then it's less money for me. Why would I do that, right? Like, yeah, okay, I'm removing myself from production, but at the time I really didn't have a reason why for. Today I know the reason. I totally removed myself from production so I can run other companies, so I can build my downline and organization, so all of those different things. But as this is 5 years ago, before EXP, mind you, before my only way of making money was commissions, right? The way I looked at it is like, if I'm start splitting that, then it's less money for me. Yes, it's less work, but less money for me. I did not understand how math works. So let me tell you how math works, guys. Okay. So you can personally do 40 transactions, or you can hire 2 agents and have them do 80, and you get paid for 40 transactions at a 50-50 split without doing a single deal. And you're like, okay, Gogo, I get it. It's mad, but where are the 80 deals going to come from? That's where I was hung up in the past. I thought I'm supposed to supply those 80 deals. Like in Hungarian, we say, let me chew it for you, and all I'm asking you is to swallow it, right? So like the bird, when the mama bird brings the food and puts it into the bird's mouth, right? Like they're just going to sit there with their mouth open, right? That's not how it works. So let me tell you how it works, okay? You're going to get 2 agents. You're going to do a 50-50 split, and then you're going to teach those 2 agents how you got the 40 deals. I didn't say I'm going to give them 40 deals each. I'm going to teach them each how to fish. So if I can teach them to duplicate what I did to get the 40 deals, now 2 people know how to do that. They're going to do the transactions. I don't necessarily have to supply the leads. Now, mind you, I supply pretty much all of their leads because I wish they would do what it takes. Okay. The truth is, even though the math makes sense on paper, the truth is, if these agents were like you, they would not be working for you. Okay, that's another lesson I had to learn since DJ, you've been asking me about lessons, right? But so what you do is you just get multiple agents. Really, you replace yourself with, think of it this way. You can be by yourself and do 100% of the work, or you can get 10 people who are 10% of you. They're never going to be 100%. They're never going to pull their weight the way you pull your weight. But if you have 10 people at 10%, what is that? 100. Right? So you're going to have to do the math and see their level of achievement, right? Like, are they 20% of you? Are they 50% of you? Are they 10% of you? And then you just do the math. If you find 4 people that are a quarter as good as you are, you have 100% of you. So you have 4 people doing the work that you did by yourself, and you end up making the same amount of money without selling a single home. So it took me about 2.5 years to remove myself truly, fully from production. Today, I don't even live in the States. So I'm licensed in Michigan, but I live in Tampa, Florida. And my team is up in Michigan. And pretty much we did 72 transactions last year, half a million GCI. So $3,000 short of 500,000 GCI. I haven't bought a single lead. I don't even have an office. I like to joke and say I don't even own a printer The leads come to us for free. I teach them how to fish, or on top of it, we have some mortgage lead sources, right? So I developed some relationship with nationwide mortgage lenders that pretty much take advantage of what the Team Gogo organization is. So at EXP, I built an organization of 1,200 agents. We are in almost every state. So these lenders, when they pre-approve leads, right, and they don't want to go into all of these markets and form individual relationships. Instead, they'll come to me and, hey, Gogo, can we figure out a way how the pre-approved clients that we don't have agents for, relationship with agents, will send it to you? And I'm like, where's the catch? Tell me more. Where's the catch, right? So I pretty much worked out these relationships. They send us leads. If it's in the local market, I keep it for my local team. The rest goes back to the Team Gogo organization. And so pretty much we generate these leads and I teach them how to fish. And next thing you know, we are successful.
So if you had to say, what is the single most effective way to lead generate for you and for a single agent, what would you say?
I mean, DG, what do you think I'm going to say? I'm
Okay.
going to say social media. I mean, everything else that, if you think about it, every other lead source that I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe there are some that I can't think of right now in the moment, are one-to-one. Meaning if you dial, is one-to-one. If you take someone out for lunch, is one-to-one. If you buy a lead, is one-to-one. Right? Because you're going to pay for that one lead when that one client turns into a transaction. Now, social media is one-to-many, meaning I create one content, then I put on there today, and that content is going to work for me. Multiple people are going to see it today. Multiple people are going to see it, like literally it's an evergreen, meaning you can watch my content from 5 years ago today. It works for me all the time. So I have zero control over who's going to see it today. Well, you kind of do through hashtags and those kind of things. But I also have zero control over who's going to go 2018 deep on my profile one day and be like, oh, gosh, I didn't know that, and click the button. Right? So for me, it's social media, hands down. Second, face-to-faces, because I'm super good. That's where my skill is, right? Like what it really came down to me, my name is impossible to pronounce. So if I put my real name on the yard signs, I guarantee you none of you are gonna dial, right? So actually, let's have fun with that. Let me put that into the chat box so you see my real name. Of course, now it's hard to type these letters on a computer, so bear with me, then I don't actually have a capital letter in the front of my name, but that is my real name. Yeah, all of you will be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to call this, sure. Right? So I knew nobody's gonna dial my yard sign. I knew that nobody knows me. I knew that I just need to get in front of them. If I could just get in front of them, I know I can convince them in person, right? So for me, it was open houses and face-to-faces. I did a lot of lunches, a lot of coffees. I started out with coffees, and I actually have that greatness tracker here today, if you guys want me to go through that presentation in a minute. I did a lot of coffees because I needed to learn about the industry. I'm a sucker for information, and I hate not understanding something. And raise your hand if you became a mortgage expert day one when you got your real estate license. And I'm going to put it on view where I can see everyone. So raise your hand when you were like, I'm a real estate expert in mortgages. Mind you, we can't close without a mortgage, and we are supposed to guide our clients through mortgages. I'm like, I don't even know what's the difference between an FHA 403k and what is a veteran's loan. I didn't even know there was a difference. So anybody raise their hand that you became an expert? No. How about title? You were like, day one, you got a title report and you could not wait to explain it to your client. So what are the red flags on the title work? I was like, I freaking don't even know what it is. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't even know am I supposed to read the whole thing? Is there a one pager that I can read, right? Like, I didn't know any of that. So I figured, what is the best way of learning? Learning from the best in the industry. So I used to take out people for coffee in the morning that were experts. So title companies, appraisers, inspectors, like you name it. Anybody that's attached to a title, to a transaction, I wanted to have amazing relationships. B, I wanted them to know my name. And C, I wanted to learn what it takes on there. And four, I wanted to really know who to work with, right? Who works the way I work. So then we can like form a group. So I used to take them out. Then I used to take out people that I met. Now, mind you, I had to take people from random places because I didn't know anyone. So that would be a parent who I met at school drop-off or pickup. It would be someone I met at yoga. It would be someone from my friend's book club. It would be like the dog walker in the neighborhood. Like, I don't care. You're a human, you have a pulse, you have to live somewhere. I'm taking you out for coffee, right? So that's how I started out with. So those two things for me are the most important. The one-on-ones, if it's in person, because I know I can win them over in person. And then the online, because it's one too many. And I see a Mihai in here. I'm assuming you're Romanian.
Moldova.
Ah, ce faci?
Și mai Alina, tot
Nu știu
Moldova.
dacă mă ții minte, salut.
Oh, salut, ce faci? So my uncle and my cousin both are Mihai. My dad's brother is Mihai, just so you know. Nice to meet you. Every time I see a Hungarian name or a Romanian name, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to say hi, because they could be my cousin.
And then you would have somebody else with blood in here and that you found in the United States. There you go.
Could be that we related. It's a tiny little country. I mean,
So-
Moldova is next door to Romania. It's another country, but hey, close enough.
So you're really active on social media,
Yeah.
and
My job.
it's your job.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long, if you're talking to a new agent or an existing agent that's really struggling in this market, and they want to know how to get started on social media, what would you tell them?
Okay. Do you have one of these? Let's walk through the step-by-step instructions. Everybody has one of these. Okay. Okay. Take it out of your back pocket. It's not going to take itself out. Yep. There you go. Okay. Swipe up if it's an iPhone and it's going to open your phone. Weird. When you do that, go to your Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever you prefer. Open it up. Okay. If you're on Instagram, as I have on Instagram, this is my feed. When I swipe to the right, it goes into my stories. And then I push this button. That's it. That's it. If you push it once, it takes a picture. If you hold it down, it takes the video. That's it. That's my job. So none of you have an excuse because all of you showed me you have one of these. Now, do you have what it takes? Do you have a finger to push a button? I'm sure you do. You just have to push it. And that's it, guys. Seriously, it's that simple. And I learned it really through pushing the buttons, like an annoying 3-year-old. I'm like, ooh, what does this button do? Oh, what if I push this? What does that button do? That's it.
So you talked about when you first started that you took them through with you. You formed a relationship, right? Is that what you were doing through your social media?
So let's be serious then. So when you open up your Instagram and you go to your profile, so mostly I work, okay, so let's talk about this. There's all kinds of platforms that you can be present on, right? You can be present on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on YouTube, you name it, you pick it. Now, I strongly recommend this. So Instagram is what I call my home. That's what I feel most comfortable with, right? I know the buttons inside out, I can do with my eyes closed. So I want you to pick one that's like your home. Like you feel comfortable at. Some people it's LinkedIn, some people it's YouTube, right? Whatever that is for you, that's going to be your home creator, okay? Now, what I do is I create everything on Instagram, and then I have a social media virtual assistant who they can be anywhere from $4 to $6 an hour, right? And then their job is to take it from there and plaster it everywhere else. So if you look me up on Facebook, I exist. If you look me up on TikTok, I exist. If you look me up on YouTube, I exist. I don't make those posts. I create one content, which is on Instagram, and I do that literally. It takes me 5 minutes to create content. And then I have a virtual assistant, and their full-time job is to plaster it everywhere and respond to all the comments, use the right links, you know, that kind of stuff.
So anyone have any questions about that for Gogo before we move on? Just come off of mute, please. Not.
I have a question, Gogo. How do you find, if someone hasn't looked for a virtual assistant, how would you find someone that is good with social media, and how do you vet them?
Yeah, so I would go, I use an example. I'm using an editor, right? Well, I'm hiring an editor right now. So I usually go to Upwork. So it's a website called Upwork, upwork.com. And it's like a job, it's kind of like Indeed, I guess, is the job post in the US, right? So it's like that, but for VAs around the globe. Now, here's my most important tip, and this is just how I work. I like my VAs to work in my time zone. So I don't hire VAs from the Asia side of the world because they have to work in the middle of the night, and I don't like that. Okay, like I don't like it because I don't want them to have to work in the middle of the night, and B, I don't like it because when they come to a Zoom call, they're like this. Right. And I'm like, okay, like, no, I can't do that. Right. Like, you see my speed, like, this is what I need. So I hire from South America. So the Brazils, Mexico's, what is it? Not Chile, the one above Brazil, underneath. Gosh, I can't think of it. Argentina. So those time zones, right? They are usually an hour to 2 hours off of the Eastern time zone, and I work in Eastern time zone. Okay. So that's number one. So then you go on Upwork and you create a job post and you say, hey, I'm looking for a virtual assistant who has experience in social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. You know how to post, you know how to comment, you know how to tag, you know how to use hashtags, and you have perfect English. If not, you know how to use ChatGPT, because ChatGPT has perfect English. Right? So that's pretty much what I do. And then we interview. When we start an interviewing process, Julie, I kind of, actually, everyone raise your hand if you are familiar with DISC assessments. Many, and Julie, you are perfect. So what I do is I know who I am on a DISC. I know who I can work with. Most importantly, I know who cannot work with me. Right? Because most people, I make them cry by noon, and I don't even hire them anymore, because like, if you can handle this, honey, you can't work for me, right? So I make them take a DISC assessment, and also I want to look at their job description, so sad. So since a social media person does not have to deal with people in person, I don't need them to have a high DNI. I could care less about that, but what I need them to have is S&C, meaning I want them to care about people somewhat, right? I mean, there are some trolls of the internet that are mean, and you do have to deal with them, but I like have a little people skills, so that's their S. And then the C, I need them to be high because I need them to be detail oriented. I need them to copy this one from Instagram and paste it on Facebook, but on Instagram, I don't have a link. On Instagram, I say the word retreat to join my retreat, but on Facebook, I say, here's the link, right? I need them to understand the differences between these different platforms, right? So I look at their DISC. If this specific person, let's say your social media person, sent in their DISC and it's an S&C, I would interview them. Then, well, one more step, I will ask for a video. And in that video, I ask, hey, send us a quick little video and tell us about you and why do you think you're a good fit for this job? Do I care what they think they're a good fit for the job? Anybody? Raise your hand if you think I care. Okay, no, I don't. Why do you think I have them send that video? I want to see your personality, right, Claire? I want to see your personality. I want to see if you like, you know, you're going to be like, well, I'm so excited to get this job. This is going to be the best job. I've worked for another company. That person, I will eat them by noon. If they can even make eye contact with the camera, they will quit or I have to fire them. And I don't have time to train you to fire you, to start all over again. Right? So I want to see, sorry, Claire, this is what you get with me. Plus on my day off, this is what you get with me. So I want to know their personalities ahead of time, right? And then I also want to know their level of English, especially today. And who am I to judge? For Pete's sakes, I have an accent, right? So I don't mind if they have a little bit of an accent. I'm wondering if you can form a perfect sentence, right? Or if you use ChatGPT to send in your job application. Right. So I just want to see, like, are you going to understand me when I'm talking to you? Right. Because if you can't understand what I'm trying to say, you can't use ChatGPT for that in the moment. Right. You can use ChatGPT to write me an email, write me a blog post, write me a social media description. But I need you to understand me when I'm talking. A, I have an accent. B, I talk fast. C, I've been in the industry for 12 years. I use words that if you don't have at least basic English, you're probably not going to understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? Now, if I like their DISC and if I like their video, that's when I interview them. Now, I used to interview every single person that works for me. I don't have time for that. So here's another pebble that I learned this year, guys. Okay, since DJ asked me about the lessons I learned. Here's another pebble. You can interview people and then so let's put it this way. Lindsay is my executive assistant. Lindsay needs an assistant herself, where my assistant needs an assistant, right? I used to hire the assistant myself. I used to interview them, and if I liked them, I hire them. Guess what's going to happen? Lindsay, who's on the call right here, she's going to have to train this person. Lindsay's going to have to get along with this person. Do I care? No, Lindsay cares. So I don't interview them anymore. Lindsay makes the job post. Lindsay sends out the disc assessment. Lindsay does the video, watches the video. She does send it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I have this one I like, and let's interview. She interviews them. She hires them, because if she doesn't like them, she's going to have to do the whole process all over again in 90 days. So I don't interview anymore. She gets to interview her own assistant. Right, Lindsay? You might want to add on anything to that.
That's correct. I just want to add that there's another resource that I really like to find VAs whenever we need. I join many Facebook groups. There are a lot of like VA social media Facebook groups out there, and I join them all. And whenever we need someone, I just go there and I post, and I receive many applications. This is another resource that I'm using, and it's very, very useful.
And then Larissa, I see Larissa's here too. You guys put your cameras on. So Larissa is Lindsay's new assistant.
Yep.
That she just got literally hired in 2 weeks ago. So I told Lindsay, I'm like, I have no say in it. You have to deal with her on a daily basis, right? So you decide, you hire your own assistant. So hi, Larissa.
Hi there.
And they are both from Brazil.
Yep.
Thank you.
So-
both.
When you're talking about your social media
Yes.
and all of the things that you're doing there, do you also do prospecting or referral-based sphere of influence? Do you work your sphere as well as or do you just depend on social media?
Well, guess what I didn't realize? Originally. So originally I started on my Facebook, and then I took my business over to Instagram, because as I was, spending more and more time on the transactional side of things in real estate, I was getting annoyed with clients and stuff, and I needed to vent. I figured if I do it on Instagram, I'll start an account there and I'll just vent on Instagram. I didn't realize they're all going to follow me there too. Right? So the moral of that story is that your social media, your people follow you everywhere. So that is, social media is my prospecting, it is my branding, it is my SY, it is my follow-up, it is my keep in touch, it is everything. Like, I don't have to do that because my past clients follow me there, my current clients follow me there, my cousin follows me there, like the new neighbor I met down the street follows me there. So it does it all for you. All you need to do is social media. And then, yes, there are links. And one of the, if you guys want me to go to the training, I can go through ManyChat to teach you how to actually collect everyone's information. But that's what I do. I create the content. I set bait them. I like, my husband's a fisherman, right? So I set bait them. And then when they bite, I pull them in the boat.
So
They might bite today, they might bite 7 years from now, but as you're creating content, as long as you're introducing, you're using the links for it or making it easy for them, they will bite at some point whenever they're ready.
So do you have that with you today to share?
I sure do.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's get, Julie, I hope that answered your question though.
That was perfect. Perfect.
Awesome. Can you please let me share the screen? So in the bottom where it says share screen, there's
Tom, can you give her shares?
up arrow.
Yeah, I didn't give her, hold on a second. So I thought I did, so go, here we go. I made you a co-host. Is it not letting you do it? I'm gonna make you host. How's that?
Yeah, maybe. Or on the bottom where it says share screen, I just don't want
Yep.
that to be, maybe there's a little arrow up.
Yep.
Click that and give access to all.
Okay, I'm gonna send it over to you. How's that?
Okay, so let's see if it allows me to.
So Gogo, here we go. Boom, make host, change host. There you go.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let me put it on present. Okay, so my real name is there again. Oh, don't you just want to call that realtor and be like, I want to buy a house? No one said ever. Okay, so let's talk about the greatness tracker. So this is where, when I realized that I'm really good face-to-faces, this is the tracker that I used. You might want to write this down. To create a new habit, it takes 90 days doing the same thing over and over and over again, in average, to create a habit where your brain goes, oh, I know what we are doing today. I don't have to look at my calendar or the sheet anymore. Okay. So I started using this sheet to kind of create that new habit, to just stay in the motion what I'm supposed to be doing today and every single day to end up with the same end result. Now, mind you, I don't do this anymore, A, because I know how to, habits are habits, but B, my ways have changed. Now, since I have such a large organic audience, I reach over 2 million people per month, I don't have to said lead generate anymore or use other ways because now it comes to me. But initially, I used to have to do both until I built it enough where I generated enough organically where I don't have to lead generate anymore. Okay, so I don't know if it's blurry or not. It's a little blurry on my end, but I'm going to go through it. Also, Lindsay is going to put the link to this greatness tracker into the chat box. So make sure that you click it before the meeting ends and just leave it open on your computer, and you can have a copy of that. Okay, so if you look, but I'm going to explain it super quick of how to use it. So I used to print this into a legal size piece of paper, because if you print it on regular, the boxes are too small for my handwriting. So just FYI. So I printed it on a legal size paper, and then I had a legal size clipboard, and I had that literally attached to my hip everywhere I went. Every time I jumped to the car, the freaking clipboard was with me, attached to the hip. Okay. So face-to-faces, I want to have 3 face-to-faces every single day. Now you can do breakfast, lunch, or dinner, coffee, lunch, and happy hour, coffee, lunch, and dinner, or however you want to do it. When I used to be broke, I used to do 2 coffees. So I would do a 9 o'clock coffee, I would do a 10 o'clock coffee, and then I would go over to Panera at 11:30 because $12, buy one, get one free, or whatever they call it, the 2, they can't have a soup and salad for $12. I was like, okay, I can do 2 coffees, $3 each. I can pay for someone's lunch at $12, right? So I used to do 2 coffees in the morning and 1 lunch, but you can organize this however you want to, or you can just meet people in their houses, meet them at yoga, stay on the curb a little long after yoga, or whatever you want to do, but face-to-faces, meaning you are literally across with someone and you're talking face-to-faces. Now, it considered a face-to-face as long as real estate comes up. So for example, it could be that you went over to your friend's bonfire and hanging out with their neighbors, and it came out that you're a realtor, right? It doesn't have to be a planned event, but you were face-to-face with another human, and the fact that you're a realtor came up. Break bread is where you actually eat. So this is where your coffee meeting counts, or this is where your dinner counts, or this is where an event counts and you had an appetizer, or you went to a face-to-face, or anywhere where you broke food, like you ate with that person, right? Or drink coffee, or things like that. Then you go into great phone calls. I wanted to have about 4 great phone calls a day. That could be your cousin, that could be the person that you met at yoga, that could be your childhood best friend that, oh my gosh, they moved back into town and 3 months ago and you still didn't have a chance to see them, right? Anybody that you can have a good phone conversation with. Now, I've never called them to be like, hey, the reason of my call is to remind you I'm a realtor. That has never felt comfortable for me. I don't do that online. I don't do that in person. I don't ever ask for someone's business. Now, if I would ask for someone's business, I always said, what would it take for me to earn your business? And I used to do that with the lenders, the title companies, the appraisers, and even still today, if I'm in a business mindset, business to business, I always ask to earn their business, right? So just keep in mind. So if I would talk to someone asking for real estate business, I would be like, what would it take for me to earn your business? Okay. But I never went into that conversation and be like, the reason of my call, blah, blah, blah. So on a great phone call, you can just talk to anybody, right? And at some point in the conversation, and this is in person and on phone call, that you are going to ask him, how are the kids? How is your work? Do you have a side job? Like, what's going on, right? And guess what happens in return? People feel awkward if they wouldn't ask you the same thing in return. They're going to ask you, how are the kids? How is your job? How is your side gig? Like, what's going on at home, right? So it's just a natural conversation that real estate at some point is going to come up. I might not be the one bringing it up. You control. Have you heard the saying, as the person who's asking the question controls the conversation? So if I'm going to ask you the questions, or how are the kids, how is your job, then in return, you're going to ask me the same question. So I control the conversation, right? So that's how I want you to look at those things. And then what's going to happen is right after that conversation, like I swear it's like clockwork every time, they would be like, oh my gosh, Gogo, my aunt's moving back to town. She has 2 cats and she needs a condo. Can you help her? Every time. It's like clockwork, right? The next one is with leads. So I used to wake up and I have a lead tracker. a good old Excel sheet because I want to see my active leads right in front of me. Don't get me wrong, we use KV Core for all of our leads that are coming in from all of the social media platforms, but the active ones, I like to have on a good old Excel spreadsheet, and I used to call them every morning. So I would just follow up with them. I'd be like, okay, so listen, here's where we are. I sent you 3 potential properties today. I'm available today between 5 and 7. Let me know if you want to go see any of them, right? I really like 123 Main Street. I think it has all the bells and whistles that you need. Another one I would kind of be like, okay, listen, we just did the appraisal. The next couple of weeks until the appraiser sends back the report is going to be crickets. I don't want you to think that I fell off the face of the earth. You're just sitting back and waiting on the appraiser, right? Like wherever you are in the process with your lead, I would just give them a follow-up call pretty much every single day. The next one is past clients. Did you know the average of people? So 8 people out of 10 will not remember the name of their realtor within 2 years of the time of the transaction. Whose fault is that? The realtors, because we don't stay in front of them, right? So I want you to, with this past client section, there's many things you can do with your past clients. Go off of memory, go off of a spreadsheet of the transactions you have closed. But what we do is as soon as we close a transaction, we put a reminder into our KV Core calendar that reminds us that this transaction closed a year ago. So then today when I wake up, I'm like, oh shoot, Jessica and Kevin closed a year ago. So I'm gonna call them and be like, hey, Jessica, by the way, did you know that today is your 1-year anniversary? How's the house treating you? Do you need anything? And then I usually, by the time I call them, I send them our preferred vendors list. And on our preferred vendors list, we have anybody, like you name it, movers, painters, electricians, plumbers, like anybody that anybody could need as a homeowner, right? And I usually say, hey, just FYI, congratulations, happy anniversary. How's the house treating you? Awesome. If you need anything, I already sent you an email with our preferred vendors list. So if you need a plumber or anything needs to be fixed, don't hesitate, just go to that list. We vetted those people. They have worked with us for years. They're also giving you a discount by being a Gogo's Real Estate team customer. So just click the link and shop away if you need any services. And so I'm not asking you for anything. I'm reminding you it's your 1-year anniversary. I'm giving you a resource to help you with anything you possibly need as a homeowner. And then I move on. So that's past clients. Then you have current clients. The referral partners. With leads and the referral partners. Yeah. So with leads, those are the leads. I messed the 2 up. So current clients is what I do with the current clients of calling them and explaining where we are in the process. With leads, what I do is those are the leads that are not certain that they're going to work with me yet. Right? They're sitting somewhere in the process of like, hey, I have your information. You raise your hand at some point that you want to buy a house or sell a house. Where are we in the process? So I used to be kind of a little bit of a bulldog where I would, here's what I used to do. You all can have it. I used to call, text, and email, call, text, and email, call, text, and email, call, text, and email, call, text, and email 7 days in a row. On 7th day, if they didn't respond to me, I would call them and leave them a voicemail and say, hey, listen, in case you haven't noticed, it's a habit. I'm going to call you, text you, and email you every single day for the rest of your life to find out, are you still on the market for that new home? Are you ready to sell that existing home, whichever side they are on? And jokingly, of course, right? And I said, you might just want to put yourself out of your misery because trust me, you don't want to hear from me for the rest of your life. So are you in or are you out? Right? And then usually they're coming back and be like, you're serious. You're not kidding. You're going to call and text and email me for the rest of my life. I'm like, have I not? The last 7 days? And they're like, yeah, you did. And so most of the time I would get their deal just because I was so persistent. And they were like, if this is who you are and how you work, like I want to work with you because you're going to get me that deal. And so that's with the leads. And then the current clients are the ones that they are somewhere in the process and you're following up with them. Then social media posts. I try to make 1 to 2 posts every single day and 15 to 20 story posts every single day. So let me explain you that one. When you go to someone's profile, so if, for example, if you go to my Gogo's Real Estate profile on Instagram, what you see on my profile, this is my storefront, right? Like this is where I post things. It's going to be there forever unless I take it off. This is the 1 to 2 posts, what I'm talking about. Like this morning, I posted that mood CEO, like it's like a quote thing, right? So that's one post. I'm going to post another one because I'm hiring onto my local team in Michigan. So that was going up in the afternoon, right? So that's 2 posts for the day. If you click someone's profile photo, so when you go to someone's profile and you click that photo, it's going to take you into their stories. And you see, these are the stories that I'm talking about. Then I post about anywhere from 15 to 20 a day. That's where people truly get to know you, is in your stories. Stories are only up there for 24 hours. But in stories, most important part with stories is that the link in the stories are clickable. So for example, let's say I talk about, and I'm going to go into that in a second, explaining how ManyChat works. Let's say I talk about how I'm doing my second BBM retreat, and if you would like to apply, in my feed, I can say click the link, because you cannot put a link into your Instagram feed. It doesn't work. You can, it just doesn't work. It's not clickable. In my stories, I can say just click the link below. So in stories is were super important to capture someone's information, because all they need to do is click the link and they're right in your whatever you are sending them. Okay, so that's social media. Open houses. I used to do an open house every Saturday and Sunday. I am huge in open houses because I just need to get in front of you. If I can get in front of someone, I can convince you to work with me, right? I'm good in person, but you can't pronounce my name. So let me meet you. So now I can tell you can pronounce it as Gogo, and then we can go on and you can use me as your listing agent, right? Or buyer's agent. Then events, I strongly recommend to do one event a day until you no longer have to do them, right? Because if you're not showing houses, go to an event, again, it's one too many. Meaning if you go to an event, you're going to walk in and there's going to be 20 people in the room, versus you're going to walk in to take someone for coffee, which is one more person in the room, right? So events. Then hours prospected. So I would calculate, okay, how long did this take me? Probably 3-4 hours in a day, right? Thank you cards. Now, while you have time, I gave this up super fast because I didn't have time to do the thank you cards. But raise your hands if you love receiving something handwritten for someone. They took the time of the day, they thought of you personally. We all do. Like, I open it, I love it, I take a video of it, I tag the person. Should I do that? Absolutely. I just don't have the time. And I didn't have the time, because after you start doing all of this, you realize it's going to start going out of like, whoa, I can't keep up with it, right? So with that being said, would I hire an assistant to handwrite notes? Absolutely. I just wasn't that smart, so I just let it all go. Okay, but thank you cards are huge, sending them something. So also, if in the conversations above right here, someone mentions that, oh my gosh, like, yes, everything's good, we just got a puppy, right? Like, you could go on like chewy.com and spend $10 and be like, hey, by the way, I included this $10 gift card here for chewy.com for the new puppy, buy him a toy, right? Like something that you actually paid attention in that conversation. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm impressed, right? The next one is leads. So I would say, okay, after I did all of these things today on Monday, which let's say Thursday, all of these things today on Thursday, how many potential leads did I get out of it? And that would be things like, you remember when I said, oh, are they going to call you back and their aunt is moving to town, right? Or they might say, oh my gosh, Gogo, our neighbors, we were out for a bonfire yesterday. Our neighbors told us they're moving. Like, please introduce me, right? So I would write down how many potential leads I have from that. Now, in the bottom, when you look deals and deals and applications or whatever, because this actually came from a mortgage officer. So I want you to look at deals. So look at, if you do everything right, you see in the leads section, you should have 10 by the end of the week. If you did all of these things every single day, you should have 10 leads every single day. By the end of the week. Now in the deals section, now let me ask you this, and you can put it into the chat box. What do you think your closing rate is? Meaning, what is your ability to turn a lead into a closing? Asking, if you were to talk to 10 people, how many of those 10 do you think are going to literally close with you where you collect a commission? So put a number into the chat box. Yeah, so Claire says 70, 80%. Julie says 80%. Tom says 60%. So what that means is, so for example, let's look at Claire. She said 70, 80%. That means out of every 10 person she talks to, if she was to do this, she will close about 7 to 8. That's her belief. Julie believes she will close 8. Tom believes he will close 10 out of every 10, or 6 out of every 10. Chris, Dove, hi Chris. I saw you work out at 5:21 in the morning. By the way, leaving the gym at 5:21 in the morning, okay? I don't speak English before 8:30. So Chris says 80%, right? So what that means is you believe that if you got 10 leads, you will close 8 of them. Now, what's an average price range for Julie or Chris? Or average commission?
500,000.
Okay, so we're gonna take, do you charge 25%? 25%. Do you charge 3%?
3%.
Okay, so 5 times 3 is what, 15? if I do the math right on my day off. So an average commission is 15,000 times 8 transactions you're gonna do. That's $120,000 this week. Okay, good job, Julie. Keep it up. Now, an average person, right? An average agent. So my numbers are calculated with 30%. So I calculated if I talk to 10, I'm going to be able to close 3. Now, mind you, this is what my team uses. So my local team has to fill this out every single week. And then Friday in our meeting, they present it to our manager. So with that being said, I calculate that they're not going to have my closing rate. I was more on that 8-9% too, 80-90% too. But I calculate that my team member is going to be closing at a 30% rate if they do all this, right? So if that's the case, 10 potential leads, they're going to close 3. Average commission for us is not that high. We're in the 300, so it's 9,000, 9 times 3, 27. I have 3 agents times 27. There we go. Cool. So that's this. If you guys want, the link is in the chat box. I'm assuming Lindsay put it in there, and click that and have it open on your computer so you can download it later. Okay.
I also put it on Workplace inside of the live video that the recording.
So Rich had a question.
Hold on, this is live on Workplace. Did I say the F word?
on our community page.
Oh, okay, good. I want to make sure I didn't say the F word on the Workplace.
So Gogo, Rich asked, what % of your stories are static images versus videos out in the wild?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to it, but if I have to take a wild guess, I would probably say 50-50. Like, go to mine this morning and see it. I'm not in it all the time. Like today, I got this little mister that like looks like a little fireplace and essential oils in it and whatnot, and the Christmas trees behind it. So I just took a video, tagged my Amazon store of that product, and then I'll make anywhere from 2 to 10% on, depending what product it is. So that one is a little video and it's not of me, right? So I don't want you to think that, oh my gosh, I have to shoot 5 videos of myself and 5 pictures of myself. No, it's like literally your life, like what's happening, who are you with, where are you at, what are you doing? Sometimes it's a picture, sometimes it's a video. I would say probably 50-50.
So Ali says, is there a thing of too much posting on Facebook, especially on
I mean, who are you asking? Your enemies? Yes, they're going to hate every single one of them. 100. One post is too many for your enemies, okay? For the people who love you, you can't post enough. So hopefully that answers your question. And whoever doesn't like my post, hey, I think it was Ali, they can unfollow you, okay? I like this quote and I learned from Brent Gove, I'm looking for the people who are looking for me. I don't care who unfollows me. In other ways, Starbucks doesn't care about the people who don't drink coffee. I don't care about the people who don't love me. And I'm certainly, you know, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not looking for them. I'm looking for the people who are just like me.
Okay. Any other questions? But do you have something else you want to share, Gogo? With
Yeah, I have another part to this training, ManyChat.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure if you have any other questions here. If not, we can move on to ManyChat. We good? Okay. So the next one, if you guys, do you guys know what ManyChat is? And I have quite a few slides here, so I might just slide through it and just explain you what it is. Actually, can I put it on a view where I can see you all? No, I can't because I have presentation. But Tom, maybe if you could put it on the view where you can see everyone, and then I'll ask the question of how many, or we can do it in the chat box. How many of you know what ManyChat is? Don't say no, just say yes if you know what ManyChat is and how it works and you have it set up. Okay, 2. Okay. Okay, so we have
see everyone. If you your top right where it says view, you can also put people onto the side.
Yeah, so I only see 6 of you, though I can see everyone. That's a problem. But in the chat box, I see. So we really only got 2 yeses out of 32 people. Okay, so let me tell you how this works. I'm going to show you first in action, and then I'm going to explain it, what it is and how it works and why it's set up. Sounds good? Because I learned through action better than someone explaining it to me. Okay, so go to my Instagram or my Facebook. It doesn't matter. So go to or Gogo's Real Estate on Facebook, or Gogo's Real Estate Team. Sorry, Gogo's Real Estate on Instagram or Gogo's Real Estate Team on Facebook. Instagram is the easiest. So just open up your Instagram. And in the search, put in Gogo's Real Estate if you don't already follow me. If you already follow me, still put in the word Gogo's Real Estate, you're gonna find my account. When you are on my account, so this is when you're on my account, it's gonna look like that, right? When you are on my account, go to any of my posts, any, doesn't matter. Pick one and comment the word buyer. Then go to another post. Any, doesn't matter, pick one, anywhere in my feed. Comment the word seller. Then go back, pick another post. Comment the word webinar. Now, after you did all of these, I want to show you what happens. So I want you to go into your DMs. Those are the direct messages. You saw me, I was talking, I was not typing, and I certainly, even if I was typing, I could have not typed 32 times over all of this. So what I need you to do is go into your Instagram, and up on the top, you're going to find these DMs. There's going to be a little red dot. Those are your direct messages. Click that, and you have 3 messages from me.
Wow.
One for my direct messages for buyers, direct messages for sellers, and direct messages for webinars. The reason I gave you these 3, I have a million keywords set up. I have one for my partner with me. That's my how I attract agents to EXP. I say comment the word partner. I have one for my retreats. That's when I do 2 retreats a year when 20 people can spend 3 days with me, and then I'll just go through my whole business plan, mindset, systems, processes, hire, fire, all of that. So that would be retreat. I might say comment the word. So if you follow me and you see I say comment the word or DM me the word. So let's talk about the difference between the two. So for example, if I'm using webinar, right? That's my Go Get 'em webinars where I teach everything I know and people become members, and for a monthly membership, they have access to all of our trainings, right? So if I say webinar, I can say comment the word webinar, and most people will just comment the word webinar. If I'm doing that for partner with me at EXP, most people are not going to want to comment that under a post because they don't want the world to know they're thinking about switching brokerages, right? So then I say comment or DM. DM is a direct message. So even if they direct message me the word partner, you can try that. Go to my, I'm assuming everybody here is EXP. Yes, okay.
Most, yes.
Yeah, so if you go into my DM, like my direct message, so act like you're direct messaging me, you can comment the word partner, and then you see what happens when someone wants to partner with me and just copy and paste into your business, right? So sometimes you want to set it up for comments only or DMs only or both. You can also set this up to happen on Instagram and on Facebook automatically. So my keywords are set up for comment and DM, and my keywords are set up for Facebook and Instagram. So when I make my post on Instagram, it automatically posts on Facebook. If they comment the word partner on Instagram or comment the word partner on Facebook, they're going to get an automatic direct message into their DMs. And this is not that, I know you guys are all like, what? My head is spinning. It is not complicated to set up. It is system. So if you're not technologically savvy, maybe just go to Go Get 'em webinars. That webinar that I sent you, become a member, and for $49 you can go through our 3-hour training. It's a monthly $49, by the way. And then I have a 3-hour workshop in there, how to set up your ManyChat. And also you have my direct link to all of these things that are set up on mine, so you can just copy and paste. That would be your Staples easy button. Okay, so what is ManyChat? ManyChat is a third-party AI. It's an artificial intelligence, right? It's a chat intelligence, which allows you to set up these keywords, if this, then that, right? So then you say, if someone comments the word partner, then send them this link, right? So that's pretty much what ManyChat is. It automates your life, so then you don't manually have to send that. So let's use the example, and we can go into, by the way, if you need ManyChat, scan this, and you can download ManyChat. You can use it on your phone, you can use it on your computer. Now, I use it mostly on the computer because I happen to be sitting in front of it all the time. I also have a virtual assistant. This is his full-time job to set up all the keywords for me, but I do know how to set it up. The first round of keywords I set up myself. I like to understand things, so I usually do it the first couple of times myself. After that, I send it to one of my VAs, and it's your new job, okay? So did you have a chance to scan this? Yes, okay, so you can download it later. So that's ManyChat. Okay, what are keywords? So you can set up any keyword that you have a link for. So for example, let's say you're talking to your buyers, right? So let's say today you share a story that you have this, I don't know, this most amazing story that you have this buyer and you made 19 offers and finally one got accepted and you got them $10,000 off and they were able to close in 21 days and whatever your success story is, right? And you say, if you're on the market for a new home and you're unrepresented, I would love the opportunity to work with you or earn your business or however you want to say, just click the link below, right? The link below is going to be, or sorry, not link. In this case, it would be just comment the word buyer. Well, when they comment the word buyer, it automatically sends them my KV Core link, my buyer KV Core link. Next day, you might create a video to your buyers and say, hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but I have access to absolutely anything in the state of Michigan. So if you're on the market looking for a new home, just comment the word buyer. It's going to take you to my website. You can search away. Right? The next day, you might say whatever. So any way that you can possibly get a buyer to raise their hand to be like, yep, I'm on the market. Because this is what I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm fishing to find out who's on the market for the next home. Because as soon as they go over to KV Core, what happens? I collect their information. They're going to show up in my KV Core within a second, as soon as they start searching. Because when they start searching, what happens? If they go in there, it says, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Brighton, Michigan, under 250,000. Their system's going to say, give us your email address to send you the report. Okay, you just gave me your email address and your name. Thank you so much. Guess what I'm going to be doing? Call, text, and email, call, text, and email, call, text, and email, until you say to tell me to go pound send, or you tell me that you want to work with me, right? So that's buyer. Seller is the same thing. You're just going to be using different bait, right? Because let's say the seller's like, oh my gosh, guys, we just listed this property for 400,000. I can't even believe the market is still that hot. We got 17 offers and accepted a 410. You know, again, check what's legal in your state. I don't know if this is legal in your state, if you can disclose what offer you got, but if you can, you can. You could say something like, I was able to have 17 sellers this year. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. We are in the last year of the month and my goal was 24 this year. Who's on the market? I would love the opportunity to earn your business. I'm looking for 3 more sellers. If you're on the market to selling your home in 2023, please comment the word seller. I don't care. Come up with your own, whatever that you are doing when you're collecting sellers. So the reason I wanted you to see webinar, because I want all of you to know that there is a million ways how we can print money or make money. And I don't want you to just chasing the next buyer or the next seller, which is the next commission, right? I want you to, so said, diversify. It's a very sophisticated word. I want you to diversify your lead source or your income sources, right? And think about it. What are you really good at? What could you teach somebody else? And create a cute little course on it, or an e-booklet, or a webinar, or a Zoom call, or something that you can charge for and make a little bit of money. So my webinars are 49, which we call the Go Get 'em webinars, is the knowledge that I learn about anything, mindset, finances, investments, tax deduction, how to form an LLC, marketing, branding, social media, you name it. As I'm learning about things, I'm just keep dumping trainings in there. Our members get access to that. I make $49 from every person who stays as a member month to month to month, right? So that's my additional source of income to my buyers and sellers. And then I have the partner with me, which is my largest source of income, which is how I attract agents to EXP. So I attracted over 250 agents in my front line with this system, right? Well, not ManyChat because it didn't exist 5 years ago, but that's what I use today. And then I also have a 1,200 agent organization, 1,218, I think, as of today. So I want you to look at the reason why I spell these words out is for you to see the different ways how you can make money, right? But there are probably 10 other ways that you can make money. You might have a dog walking business. You might have a staging company. You might have you name it, you have it, right? Oh, and another way you can do this is through affiliate. Okay. So for example, let's say there is a company that pays you. So QuickBooks, let's raise your hand if you use QuickBooks. Okay, so it looks like many of us here. So QuickBooks, did you know, and now don't quote me on it, but a while ago when I logged in, they give you $500 for a new customer. I was like, okay, I know a lot of people, or I should say a lot of people know me, right? So then I would go to my stories and say, hey guys, I use QuickBooks for all of my accounting. I have used it for the last 5 years. Christy actually just broken it up into different companies and we really love it. Then under one login, you can see multiple different companies and blah, blah, blah. I love QuickBooks. right? And I say, if you don't have QuickBooks yet, and you're still doing your accounting on an Excel spreadsheet, just comment the word QuickBooks and you're going to get the link. Now, don't comment the word QuickBooks because I don't have it set up, but I just gave you an idea of how to think on things, right? Even your credit card. So I flew 24 times last year and I paid one time for an economy ticket and I got upgraded to first class every single time. You know how I did that? Every time I fly, I take a selfie with my cute little luggage in front of the Delta Sky Club or inside the Delta Sky Club with my cute little mimosa, right? And I say, if you don't have a Delta credit card yet, you need to get it because every dollar spent, you get a point and every point is a mile. So that's the reason why I flew 23 times for free last year. If you don't have your Delta credit card, just comment the word Delta and I'm going to send you the link to apply. I mean, a million ways how you can use this. Right? If you log into your credit cards, guys, or pretty much any service or platform that you use, there is the button, refer a friend. When you push it, they pay you an affiliate. So if you send it out to all of your friends and let's say 3 out of 10 buys, well, you just made yourself commission. So it's like being a sales rep for all of these companies. Think about it. People ask you all the time, what CRM program do you love? What blah, 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 what credit card do you use? Like whatever those questions are, every time you answer those questions, you're marketing for that company for free. So we're not going to market for those companies anymore. Do we love them? Absolutely. But if I'm opening my mouth to tell 2 million people about your services this month, I better get paid, right? And so then I go to my app, I go to the refer a friend button, copy link, then I go make my post, I include the link, you click it, I make money. Love it? So that's affiliate. So I want you to think on all of the services that you use and log in there and get your button and put together an affiliate list. And once a week, start talking about your Amazon store or talk about your credit card or talk about QuickBooks or your CRM program or ManyChat. Like, oh, perfect example. All of you that click this ManyChat, when you sign up, they'll pay me like 10% of whatever your monthly is. So if you're paying, I have no idea what it costs, but let's say it's 20 bucks. I make $2. Hey, that's $2 that I didn't have, right? Again, think of it this way. If I open, just assume that if I opened my mouth and I'm talking and these things are moving, I'm making money. Okay, I want you to do the same. I want you to have multiple revenues of income. Okay, so we talked about that, how to set up your keywords, and we are 5 minutes after the hour. Are you guys good for me to fly through this?
Whoever's on is good. I
Yeah,
still keep going, so thank
Keep
you.
going.
Okay, so I talked about the buyer example. You guys, did everybody get the buyer code? Oh, I think we changed that. You didn't get the buyer and seller codes, did you? In your DMs, did you get a response from me for your buyers and sellers? Lindsay,
Oh.
what was the thing last time? It only works in DMs, or what is it?
Only on DMs, I think, not comments. I don't recall that.
Oh, I think we took it away in comments because it triggers all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sorry guys, it doesn't work in comments. So you have to go into my DM. So direct message up on the top right and DM me the word buyer to see my automation so you can copy it. And then DM the word seller so you can see the automation, you can copy it. If you want to learn how to set this all up, then go get a membership so you can watch the webinars and do it step by step, which is comment the word webinar. Okay, so this is what happens when someone DMs me the word buyer, right? They say, I respond, and this message you get to set up. Now, I set up the messages the way I sound because I want people to know it's me, right? So I say, I know the feeling of being on the market for the next home or investment property, and I'm super excited to help you find it. Click the link below. When they do, it goes to my KV course search a home button. Okay, then I do the same thing on the listing side and I say, no better time to sell than now. Find out how much your home is worth by clicking the link below. I hope you love the numbers, $, home evaluation, right? So I send them to my KV Core home evaluation. Then this one is partner. So this is what I do to attract agents, right? I'm so excited you're interested in changing brokerages and maybe joining me at EXP. Jump into my calendar and let's talk. Let's see if we would be a good fit to partner. The reason I put that, let's see if it would be a good fit to partner, because I want them to want it. What do people want? What do people want? Nobody knows. Do that? What they can't have.
What they can't have.
There you go, Chris. People want what they can't have, the forbidden apple. Number one lesson in the freaking Bible, right? So if you think about it, if I said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to partner with you, they're like, oh, okay, sure. If I said, let's see if we are a good fit to partner, they're like, what? You're telling me then we can't do this? Like I'm bringing you business, you're going to say no to it? Yeah. If you're not a good fit, I'm not looking for rotten tomato or drama in my life. I don't care how much money that pays me. Bye, Felicia. I'm looking for people who are looking for me. I'm looking for my people. So when I say, let's see if we would be a good fit, I truly mean it. Right? And so if they are offended by it, they're not going to apply.
And that's okay.
That's my partner with me. Then this is my Go Get 'em webinars. Again, I want you to see this for the product that you are going to create. So mine is called Go Get 'em webinars. I say, you know, when I say comment or DM the word webinar, that's the link you get. Excited you're ready to scale with us. Go Get 'em webinars. Here's the link. Right? Every time someone says webinars, they're getting this automatically in comments or DMs. The next one is how to set up your integration. So let me just read in the bottom, create a keyword for a product. So webinar, buyer, seller, whatever your product is. Create a message. You saw the message. Message includes a link. Link comes from your CRM program to collect their data or Sten Store. So we haven't talked about Sten Store yet, and I don't know if I have a Sten Store link in here. Lindsay, I don't think I have the QR code in here. Can you put the Sten Store link in there?
Yes.
Okay. So raise your hand if you know what tree, what is it called? Tree something? Tree.
Linktree.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Linktree is. Do you know what Linktree is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sten Store is similar to Linktree. It's kind of look like that where it's you can have multiple links under one link. The difference is you can charge. So if you create an e-booklet, or if you have a coaching program, or if you have a whatever, you can charge right there on the Linktree. So you take, instead of having a Linktree link in your profile, you're going to have a Sten Store link in your profile. They go there, you can charge them right there on that page. I have a discount for 2 free weeks. When Lindsay puts that into the chat box, open it up and then sign up later. Okay. How to create, what is this? How to create content that causes your clients to raise their hands. So I kind of gave you guys ideas. I don't want to go too far into it. I gave you many ideas of how to create, right? Stories on the buy side, stories for sellers, stories for your webinars.
Welcome.
Here's
all
one of them for my agent
experience.
attraction one.
You never know which one is gonna turn everything.
So this is a sound. Then I got off of Instagram. So if I play it again, so you can hear what it says.
Welcome all experiences. You never know which one is gonna turn everything.
Right? So it's a sound, it's a voiceover of somebody else's, right? I use the EXP example, how the experience, if I didn't say yes to EXP, like EXP changed my life, guys, right? Like changed my life. I would not be making the money that I'm making today if it wasn't for EXP. So then I just kind of go into that story. I use this little reel. And at the end, I probably said, comment the word partner, DM me partner. You see the very bottom? DM me partner, let's talk, I can help. Right? So you can take a picture of this to kind of read this, or you can go to my feed and see this exact post. It's still up there. But think of it this way. I created this last year in December when we were up in Michigan. I think it was December, or in the summer when we were up in Michigan. Either way, it was at least 6 months ago. That post is up and it's going to be up there forever. You can see it today. You could see the day when I posted it, right? It works for me from now until the cows come home. As long as I leave it on my profile, it's on there. So somebody could be watching this 6 months ago and they could have commented the word partner or DM the word partner, or they can watch it today and DM the word partner. Either way, I'm agent attracting from the moment I post it until I leave it up. Okay. Fact, style, story, sell. So I don't ever, so let's use agent attraction, for example. I don't say, oh, our stock prices today are $17. Join EXP with me, right? Like I don't do facts. I do stories. I would say something along the lines of like, guys, when I joined EXP 5 years ago, our stocks were $5 a piece. Today, here's a screenshot, or $17 a piece. That means I have more than 4 times my money. 4 times, 3 times, 5, 3 and a little bit, my money in 5 years. If you don't have stocks, or if you are at a brokerage that gives you none of this, just DM me the word partner. Let's talk, right? You feel the difference between stacks are $17 today versus telling a story? Facts tell, stories sell. If you can explain it with a story, it's going to stick in their brain. It's different than fact. So when you're doing social media, don't fact, stories. How does that apply to you? What happened to you when you learned that lesson? So we talked about buyer example, seller example. You can learn more, and that's the Go Get 'em webinars. So if you would like to partake in our Go Get 'em webinars, scan this, and we would surely like to have you. Oh, Lindsay, do we still have the 5 off? If they come in 5 off?
Let me double check Chris very good, but I think so. Yeah.
Okay, double check for me. But maybe write this down. We used to have a discount. I don't know if you still have it. Lindsay's gonna double check. But when you go to the checkout page, if you put in the coupon code 5 off, OFF, that will give you $5 off of your membership if it's still working. But hold on a minute. Let's see if it's still set up. Because we did that for Cyber Monday. I don't know if we took that away. In the meantime, that is the end to my presentation. I am going to stop sharing. And if you guys have any questions, let's give it 2 minutes. Go.
Gogo, thank you for your time and being so generous going over. I know you're very busy and you do have your time off. So thank you for that.
Thank you,
And
guys. Thank you for
have
having
no-
me.
Go ahead, DJ.
Oh, I was gonna say, and I know that you gave us 3 hours in this 1 hour because you talk really fast.
I
Thank
do.
you so much.
Plus I have an accent, so it doesn't help, right? But the good thing is this is recorded, and then you can go back and slow it down.
Yes.
Put it
Right.
put it on a 0.5 speed. Myosotis? Myosotis?
Yes, yes, you got it. I can go by Mia though.
Yeah,
Thank you so
right.
much for your time, Gogo. It's a pleasure. My question is, I'm still undecided on starting a team because so my question is, do you recommend starting a team and focusing on your organization, aka downline? Or do you recommend solely focusing on your downline or organization from the beginning?
So I'm going to explain this in numbers, actually. Well, I'm going to explain the story. Remember stories? Sal. Okay. So it took me 2.5 years to remove myself from production. And the reason why I wanted to remove myself from production, it's kind of twofold. A, I didn't want to be 67 years old and holding an open house. Okay. That was the reason, big reason number one. Reason number two is when I partner with agents in EXP, right? I take my partnerships, my downline, right, very, very seriously. If I am full blown in production, there's no possible way that I can answer my phone to 1,200 agents. There's no way that I can celebrate them properly. And if you don't celebrate them, let me put it this way, what gets celebrated gets duplicated. Right? Meaning that if they are icon and I celebrate them, they're like, oh my gosh, I'll do it again. Right? People love that like, hey, my hard work is getting noticed. So if I didn't remove myself from production, I wouldn't have the time to give it to my downline. But at first, you kind of have to do it all. So at first, I was building a team. I was training a team. I was slowly removing myself from production. I was partnering with agents. I was building a downline. I started a TV show. I mean, you name it. I have done it all at once. But I did tell my husband, give me 3 years. I will work like a mad woman, so we never have to work again. So I'm not going to kid you, Mio. For the first 2-3 years, it's going to take you time to fully remove yourself from production, give enough time and resources to your agents so they can replace you, right? Where they are not blowing up your phone every day with the negotiation questions or a deal went sideways or whatever, right? So today I only spend 1 hour a week on my local team. I hired a manager for my local team, but I was doing it myself for the last 5 years. Now I hired a manager, and the way I look at it is last year we did 497,000 in GCI. Out of that, I think I took home 290 and they took home 210 or something along those numbers. But this year, 2 out of the 3 quit. I only have 1 agent left. And the reason why is because I moved to Florida. I thought they're going to be fine without me physically there. They're not. They want someone there physically to hold their hands, right? So then my question is, then what I was faced with is, do I just let the team go all the way or do I hire a manager, right, to replace me? Because I don't have the time. I just don't. Nor do I want to move back to Michigan. So no offense if anybody's here in Michigan. I really like the Florida weather.
It's nice and warm there.
It is. Don't get me wrong, we're up there in the summers, but I don't want to be there year round, right? And so the way I looked at it, okay, if I was to walk away, that's $290,000 of potential income that I'm walking away from. And mind you, I have no cost. I know I have no office, I have no printer, I have no nothing, right? Now, if I hire a manager, even if I have to pay them $100,000, I'm still making 190. So do I walk away for 190 or do I hire a manager? Hire a manager. So for me, every decision I do is based on bottom line. I don't take feelings in consideration. I don't care, Mio, how you feel about the decision. I work for money. Do I make money or do I don't make money? Oh, I make money, it's a yes. I don't make money, it's a no. Super simple. So I want you to sit down, run the math, decide if you want to burn the candle on all angles for the next few years. And if the answer is yes, just get to work. Build a local team, you can have it all. Like I made a post about this a couple weeks ago. We were raised with, you remember when you went to the pantry and you got a lollipop and you got some chips, you got an ice cream and you were trying to sneak up in your room like my kids do it all the time. And then we say, what do we say? Hold on, honey, you can't have it all. Do you want this or do you want that? That's where we train our kids to have to choose. And then when you grow up, I realized, oh, no, I can have it all. I can have a team. I can have a downline. I can have 9 companies. I can be a stay-at-home mom. I can do it all. I can have Wi-Fi, do it from the beach. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to choose. So Mio, I want you to not choose. You don't have to have one or the other. You can have it all.
Thank you so much. That's super helpful.
Now the question is, who do you have to become to have it all? Do you have the work ethic that it's going to take to have it all? It's not going to flop on your lap and be like, oh, money just showed up in my account today, right? You're going to have to work for it. So you know yourself, you know what you're willing to do, but if you're willing to do what it takes, you can have it all. Ken.
Hi, Gogo. Thanks so much for doing this. I'm getting a lot of value. I'm sure everyone is.
On my day off, you're welcome.
How do you, in working with VAs and so many assistants, how do you protect your information, your database, your sign-ins, your passcodes? How do you coordinate that? Is there like a software that you move around so that they have it one week and not another or a month? I mean, how do you figure all that out?
So does the PA stands for?
The PA it's like an LLC, but it's personal.
Got it. Okay, I thought it stands
it's a
for
corporation. Yeah, it's a corporation.
I thought it stands for like a private investigator, like a PI. Like what's an A? Because that would make perfect sense of why you would want to have all that hidden, right? So the answer is kind of in a roundabout way. So when I decided to do social media, my life is out there. So I had to very quickly get over the private or not private or what people see or do. So when you decide to do social media, it just goes out there and people can do whatever they want to do with that information. Now, with that being said, where is your level of comfort of how much you want people to know about you? That's in your control. You know about me what I let you know about me, which is the stories and the posts that I make. The stuff that I don't want you to know, I don't make a post about it. So you don't know. Super simple, right? Now, so that's for the public, right? So if you decide to do social media, how much you want them to know, it's in your control, whatever you feel comfortable, okay? Now, when you start getting VAs, now we are talking DMs, we are talking emails, we are talking, they have access to everything, right? Like, guys, I couldn't have a boyfriend in the last 10 years because my husband would know right away, because 17 of my VAs would know right away. Right? So not that I would have a boyfriend, but it's a funny example, right? So forget privacy when it comes to DMs and when it comes to emails, because if you have your VAs in there, they'll just know it, right? So what I want you to do is any of your finances. So let's talk about the finances kind of type of things or the email reset. I want you to have, if you think about every single account that you have, if you forgot your password, how do you regain it?
Email.
Button called I forgot my password, and then it sends you an email. So even if you don't give them the password, they'll just go to the email and reset it and done, right?
I see.
So what I want you to do is have one account that all of your bank information, all of your reset information goes into that account. then you don't have to worry about it. Even if they click the button, the email goes to an email that they don't have access to.
Got it. Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
The other thing, and the Facebook and the Instagrams and the TikToks and the whatnot, well, actually, I don't know if it works on TikTok, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you can have admins on the account. So I never give password to those accounts. You're going to go into your Facebook manager, and in there, you give them admin access or editor access or whatever access you want them to have. Because you don't want someone to wake up one day and just, have it with you, just head it with you and delete your account. Right? So you give them admin access or editor access or whatever level. There are different levels in there. And it tells you what they can or cannot do. So in some cases, they can comment, they can post, but they cannot check your DMs. Or they can check your DMs and comment and post, but they cannot delete your account or delete a post. Right? Like it just kind of depends on what level you feel comfortable with. But there are certain things that you just gonna have to get over it. Like Lindsay literally knows.
Your database, for example, like let's say you probably have a gigantic database. How do you protect your database where they're not selling it? We could talk about this until the cows come home, right? If someone wants to be a bad person, they are going to be a bad person. Okay.
Right? So there are certain things that we're just not going to get to the end of it. Now, the big things, of course, don't give out your password, give them admin access, like have a separate email address, like those kind of things. Have two-step authentication set up for everything that you do. So for example, let's say you have your two-step authentication set up on Facebook. They're not going to hack you on Facebook. They're going to hack you on the email address. So they're going to go to the Facebook. They're going to say, I forgot my password. They're going to go to your email, hack the email, change your Facebook password. So if you don't have two-step authentication set up on all angles of the equation, they're going to find a way to hack you, and there are bad people in this world, right? So with that being said, I want you to kind of not worry too much about it, but do all of the right things. Nobody can log into even to an admin access or an editor access without two-step authentication set up on their personal. Because here, we can play this until the cows come home. I could have it set up on mine, but since I give them admin access, they're going to hack them if they don't have two-step authentication set up, right? So two-step authentication means even if they have the password, the system's going to send a code to my cell phone, and without that code, they cannot log in.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Gogo, I've talked to many teams, and here's what I've always told them.
Thank you.
You can give anybody your playbook and your database. If they're not executing it, they're not going to get the results anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I do recommend to have two CRM programs, and with Zapier, you can feed one to another. Correct. So my leads, for example, they come into KV Core, my buyers and sellers, but they also automatically feed over to Go High Level. So I have them in two different places, right? And so that way you have one CRM program that backs up into another CRM program. If you lose the data in one for whatever reason, you have it in another. The other thing with the buyers agents and stuff, what if they try to take my clients? Good luck with that. People work with me because they want to work with me. Period. Mm-hmm. Take it. Dial them every day. I'll call and be like, look, don't worry about anything. Right? So your people are your people. You're never going to lose them if you take good care of them.
Great. Thanks so much.
You're so welcome.
Are there any more questions? And thank you so much for taking time for your day off and going over. That's incredible. We really appreciate it.
I owe Tom. The only reason I'm here because I owe Tom, because he already gave up his time, and now I'm like, okay. So
I didn't give up either. I didn't give up on reaching out to her and emailing it, and I got her at the rally. So persistency, and I'm more than willing to get back to your agents too, Gogo, because we really appreciate the time you took. What I love most is you're relentless in pursuit of your success, regardless of your language barrier, regardless of knowing anybody here. You are relentless, and you're not emotionally attached to the outcome at all.
The way I look at it is the emotionally being attached. I believe that God created me. I believe that God doesn't make mistakes. So I believe the way I am freaking perfect. I also believe that if God gave me an idea, he gave it to me because he created me and he knows I have what it takes. Now, here's another thing that God gives us all: a choice to do it or not do it. And I'll tell you a story. Most people don't take action because of fear. You only have fear when you don't have faith. And here's a story that nailed it in so hard in my mind that I know from that moment that I can do anything. And when you know you can do anything, it's dangerous, guys. So here's a story. I'm on a plane and I'm flying somewhere. And for whatever reason, this plane is just sitting for way too long in the freaking driveway, whatever that's called, right? And I'm chitty-chatting it up with this lady next to me, and she's like 72 years old, traveled every country, used to be a teacher, loved this world. I love traveling, I love the world. So I'm asking her all kinds of questions. We are chitty-chatting it, and finally the plane is taking off. So we are starting like tick, 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 tick onto the driveway, right onto like to take off. Well, I used to be deadly afraid of flying. So I used to take a tequila shot. I mean, I would, whatever it takes to get my tush on that plane, because I know that's what it takes to be somewhere else than I'm at, but I did not enjoy it. Like, I was so afraid of it. So I'm sitting with her, the plane is about to take off, and I look at her and I said, hey, if you don't mind, I'm afraid of flying, so I'm just gonna pray until we take off, and then we can continue our conversation, right? So I get into praying. So I'm just sitting there and I'm praying, and I can feel the planes going off, my eyes are closed, I'm praying, right? And then I feel this, the lady literally next to me, she was to my right, and start tapping my knee. And I'm middle praying, right? And she's like, taps my knee, and I'm like, okay, must be really important. So I open my eyes, I look at her and I'm like, yes. And she goes, do you believe in God? I was like, well, I just told you I'm praying. So yes, the answer is yes, I'm praying to him right now, right? You interrupted my prayer. And she goes, do you believe in God always? Or just sometimes?
Wow.
Oh,
Changed my life. Made me realize that the only time I'm fearful of something when I don't believe in God. When I don't believe that it was meant for me. If God knows all of us. If this idea that's in your head right now in this moment, that been nudging at you for this past however long, for you to do it, God gave it to you because you have the skills. In a funny way of me saying it, this is how I make people take action. Do you have the balls to take action? That I don't know. You decide. Choice is yours. You can do absolutely anything. And here is a way, if you don't know, I give you 2 books to change your life. These 2 books have changed mine. You see what happens when I don't have meetings after meetings every day? You get, I don't know how to shut
Now
up.
we know when to schedule you in.
Usually I'm like, guys, I gotta go. I have another Zoom. Okay. I'm gonna share this and I'm seriously gonna shut up. This book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. The best book you'll ever read. It's gonna be, haha, look at Tom. So this is like a pocket book. I buy like 50 of them every year and I give it as a stocking stuffer to my friends. It will change your life. It starts out slow. It's in Jesus's era. And I'm like, oh, what does this have to do with sales? Like, can we, like, if you haven't noticed, I want things now. So I'm like, can we just get to the point, right? So you get to the point when you start reading the scrolls. There are there's a few scrolls. Number 11, or chapter 11 is my favorite. I think there's 10 scrolls. Chapter 11 says this: I am nature's greatest miracle. Since the beginning of time, never has there been another with my mind, my heart, my eyes, my ears, my hands, my hair, my mouth. None that comes before, none that lives today, and none that comes tomorrow can walk and talk and move and think exactly like me. All men are my brothers, but yet I am different from each. I am a unique creature. I am nature's greatest miracle. Nobody can be Gogo, nobody can be Ken, nobody can be DJ, nobody can be Tom. And if you don't believe it, look at your fingertips. Look at your retina. That's why you can go through at an airport and they scan your retina and they call you by name. Out of how 7 billion or 4 billion people, they're like, hi, Miss Gogo. I'm like, seriously? How the heck did you do that? The way they can do that is because we are literally that unique. There's not another human on this earth that has that. So if you don't go for your dreams, you're wasting what God created you to be. Next one.
Yeah.
This book, but Tom, go add on to that if you would like to add on to
No. I was saying there's 2 other books with that as well, and you mentioned that the Greatest Miracle is the other, and then you have the.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, so you have The Greatest Miracle in the World. and it's on to that book as well, but you also have part 2, the end of the story on the same book, but part 2.
Oh, guess what I am ordering today for my own stocking stuffer. I'm gonna surprise myself. Okay, next one is Outwitting the Devil. Do you guys know who Napoleon Hill is?
Yes.
Like everybody should know who Napoleon Hill is. You need to read that book if you haven't, which is called I want to say Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's not Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's Think and Grow Rich. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have not read Think and Grow Rich, start with that. Napoleon Hill wrote that book in 1936 or something like that. Then he wrote this one a few years later, which is called Outwitting the Devil. They did not allow him to publish it because they called it was too controversial. Then when he passed away, he gave it to his wife. They told her not to publish it because it's too controversial. When she passed away, went into the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and they were told not to publish it because it's too controversial until 2018. It's like 79 years later after it was written. It will be the best book you'll ever read. Now, I'll be honest with you. I literally had to read it out to myself. Like I was walking by the pool and I was reading the question and I was reading the answer out loud to myself like an idiot. Because Napoleon Hill literally introduced the devil, and the devil answers in ways that my brain goes, what did he say? And I would have to read it over and over again to try to understand it with my small little mind of what the devil is trying to say, of how the devil works. So pretty much there's this thing called a hypnotic rhythm. Hypnotic rhythm means you get into this swirl of things and you can't get out. If you let as much as 1% to the devil to take over in your head, he will take over the whole thing. You have to control your mind. I say business is a spiritual game. If you don't get this and this under control, you can't possibly win. So work on your mind and you can have it all. That's me. Peace out.
Thank you again, everybody. And everybody, thank you for sticking around with us. And we'll see you next Tuesday. And
Thank
the
you
next
so
so
much, everyone.
much.
I tagged you in a Gogo if you wanted to put any notes in there on the community in workplace. So it's in workplace.
Awesome. Lindsay, would you please go in there and put in all of the links from today?
Thank you very much. If we can contribute back, let us know. We got about 6 former team leaders from Keller Williams with our group here. So lots of opportunities for your group as well.
Thank you so much. So every Wednesday we do a production training for Team Gogo. If you guys don't mind to put your name into the chat, if you'd be interested to come and teach on that. Also every Friday we do an agent attraction mastermind for Team Gogo. So if you would like to teach on agent attraction and how you build your team or downline, we would love to have you for that. So that way Lindsay can get in contact with you. Thanks again, guys, truly to have me today and get them.
Perfect. All right, Lindsay, I'll leave this open for a few more minutes so the people can put their emails in that might want to do some teaching for you.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And Lindsay, instead of writing them all down, maybe just take pictures and then
Yeah, taking pictures.
I mean, you take that picture right there of everybody's name that's interested, and then that way you can just have it on file somewhere. You don't have to wait until, you don't have to copy and paste or write it all down, whatever you want to do. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
All right. Lots of information there. I'm going to stop the recording now. So
That was amazing.
nice job.
Like going to a seminar.
Stop the live.
Stop it.
She's full of information and excitement and energy.
Yes. Oh, you know why I can't stop it? I'm not the host anymore.
Oh crap, you got to take back host.
Yeah, can you make me host again, DJ? I know how to shut it off. Would have to just shut the whole
I wonder
thing.
if Lindsay can.